My name is Ethan Harper, and what I am about to tell you is true. I was 21 when it happened. It all began during a solo camping trip to Acadia National Park in Maine. I needed to escape the city to clear my mind, to feel something other than concrete and noise. The first 2 nights near Jordan Pond were peaceful. The water was still the stars, sharp and bright, and the forest wrapped around me in perfect silence. I felt safe, almost foolishly safe. But on the 3rd night, I woke at 2:45 a.m. 2 footsteps, circling my tent, heavy, deliberate. They stopped whenever I reached for the zipper. At first I told myself it was just an animal, maybe a raccoon. But the pace was too deliberate, too methodical, too human. My chest tightened, fear settled in like a stone in my stomach. By the 4th night, the feeling of being watched was suffocating. I tried moving my tent deeper into the forest, but no matter where I went, it felt wrong. It was always one step ahead of me, lurking just out of sight. On the 5th night, I decided to leave the pond area and hike toward Cadillac Mountain. The sun had just set, and a dense fog rolled in, swallowing the forest in darkness. I set up my tent in a small clearing, hoping for rest, but at 3:15 a.m. I woke again. This time, it was not footsteps, it was breathing. Slow, heavy, right outside my tent. I froze. The sound stopped. I told myself it must be another camper, but there was no one around. Then I saw a shadow moving between the trees, too. Tall, human-shaped, but wrong. It did not run, did not hide, it just followed the clearing, silent and patient. Panicked, I grabbed my flashlight and shone it into the fog. Nothing. The shadow was gone. I packed my tent in the dark and hiked down the mountain, guided only by my phone's weak GPS. 80 dawn, when I finally reached the main park road. I saw something that still haunts me. My campsite was empty, but my backpack, carefully packed the night before, lay in the middle of the trail, zipped shut exactly as I had left it. It was not an accident. Someone or something had placed it there. I never returned to Acadia, but even months later, late at night, I would hear the same slow, deliberate footsteps circling my apartment. At first, I told myself it was my imagination. Then my shoes would be moved, my windows would be open, though I had closed them. My old tent appeared folded neatly in my closet. Even though I left it in Maine, I called the park rangers. They found nothing, but one ranger whispered, "You said you camped south of Cadillac Mountain, right? We have had other reports. People hear the breathing, the footsteps, but no one ever sees it." That night at 3:15 a.m., I woke again. The air felt thick, heavy. Then I heard it, that same slow breathing outside my bedroom door. I turned on my phone light and saw muddy footprints leading from the front door straight to my bed. I have moved 3 times since then, but it always finds me. Sometimes I wake to the faint rhythm of footsteps circling my bed, the same deliberate pace I heard in the woods. A friend, Aaron, a ranger in Vermont, told me about a local legend. They call it the Watcher. It follows lost hikers until they stop moving, then it takes their place. Weeks later, a package arrived at my door. No return address. Inside was a mud-stained map of Acadia, marked with a red X, dated October 12th, the day I left. That night, at 2:45 a.m., I woke to scratching on my window. I live on the 3rd floor. I heard the breathing again, and a whisper, "You left something behind." My phone light died, and the scratching stopped. The next morning, written in mud on the glass, were the words, "Jordan Pond." I drove 4 hours, stopped at a motel, locked the door, but in the morning, muddy footprints led from the woods straight to my door. The same deliberate steps. Aaron called again, voice shaking. They found a campsite near Cadillac Mountain, my name carved into a tree next to it. Another tent, the same model as mine, but no one inside, just my old driver's license lying on the floor. That night, I dreamed I was back in the forest. Fog all around my old tent, glowing faintly. Something moved inside. When I called out, the figure turned. It was me. Just before I woke, I heard the same steady footsteps. 1, 2, 3, the rhythm that haunts me every night at 3:15 a.m. The breathing starts again, slow, calm, familiar, waiting, patient, waiting for me to stop running so it can finally take my place.